Hello, story time. A wise son heareth his father's instructions, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. What does that look like? That looks like wise dudes are gonna listen, but haters are gonna hate. Okay, check this out. Story time. I lied about the first time I had sexy time. My childhood wasn't normal. I met my biological dad when I was 12 because of a situation in the Florida child care system and my sister. This is a true story. Jump forward. We lived in San Fernando Valley, California, aka Porn Valley, the place I was allegedly born at. I'm still 12. Check this out. My dad and I are hanging out and getting to know each other, and he's showing me around town, asking me questions and pointing out neighborhoods to see if I remember parts of my early childhood. I don't. The topic of sex came up, and I told my dad I already had sex. A man ain't a man until a man has been with a woman. That's what porn screens taught me. True story. Jump forward. We pull up to an apartment complex to meet up with one of my dad's lady friends. I was sitting on the couch, watching the screen, and my dad called for me. I hopped up and I walked into the bedroom, and the lady friend was on the bed in a white see-through outfit, and my dad was sitting on the bed next to her, and he said, "I want you to meet her." I stepped back against the wall and I slid down to the ground to sit on the floor. I was shook. I didn't know what I was doing. I mumbled when I was talking. It was a humiliating situation. My dad said I can go back out into the living room and wait on him. He knew. I lied about having sexy time and called me out. And I learned I was a boy and I wasn't ready to have sexy time. Then, the screens put a lot of bad ideas into my mind when I was growing up. Now, I wish someone would have shown me the word of God coming up. Done. That's a true story. That's a true story. Everything that I just shared with you, I went through that. That was my experience, okay? All right, let's hop on our next slide. Conclusion. This is my closeout game because this is what I do. This is my job description, okay? Check this out. Trust God, dress and keep God's property, protect neighbors with trust tools, show the people how to move with simplicity, test, break, and build free people by God with love. Game over. So the reason why I'm showing you this conclusion or telling you this conclusion, and I told you that story, was because, when I say then, the screens put a lot of bad ideas into my mind when I was growing up. Now, I wish someone would have shown me the Word of God coming up because, the Word of God is full of instructions and it's full of lessons. And I wish somebody could have pointed me to that and then walked with me hand in hand or line by line and show me how to get down by using the Bible. But they didn't. And then now I have really interesting stories to talk about because I didn't know this at the time. But now that I know that my Father is always with me no matter what. So there's a difference between a father and there's a difference between dad, right? So dad would be, the man who spread the seed and allowed you to come into existence. That's why I say biological dad. This flies over a lot of people's heads because, they don't understand the difference between a father and a dad, right? So I had many dads because I had a lot of dudes teach me, but I had one dad who spread the seed, but then I had a lot of other dads who put words into my mind, okay? And this is just my story now, and I'm just sharing it with the people because I want to build connections and I want to build relationships with my neighbors, and I want to show you guys how to operate in the private realm, okay? So we're done. So here's my job description too. Go ahead and contact us and we will build you a private organization and show you how to operate it by God with love. I will show you how to move in the private realm. I will show you tools and I will show you skills that I wasn't taught when I was young, right? I wasn't taught how to manage my money. I wasn't taught how to operate in the private realm. I wasn't taught how to handle my own business, right? I had to learn this the rough way, the tough way, and I'm fine with that and I'm cool with that. But what I'm doing right now is I'm fast tracking a lot of my lessons that I learned, into other men and into other women so you guys can level up to where I was never at. Okay? All right. Remember this. All right. Until then, I'll see you in the future. And remember, nobody's having more fun than us. Bye.